All right, guys. So, welcome to episode 5 of the Allmity Podcast. Today, we have the legend Ishaan Allhuwalia and Srishti Soni on us to discuss everything IPL which is going on. Ishaan, Srishti.
Hi guys, hi Aranjay.
Hello, sir.
Lovely to be
Srishti.
here.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Same. So, guys, we're shooting this on the 25th of October. It's a little depressing day, isn't it, for RCB fans out there?
Yeah, you could say so, definitely. Disappointing loss.
And any words you have for the RCB team right now?
Okay, so if you're giving me the leeway, I'll just go ahead with what I thought. I think today, I'm not gonna rant for 20 minutes, but if you can tolerate me for 2 minutes. But I think there are no plans today.
Guys, let me just bring this out. Ishan's rants are the best. So, like, when I was trying to get him on the podcast, right, I listened to him rant about Kings 11 versus RCB for 20 minutes, right? RCB lost that match. Man, I'll link that in the description, actually. That was so good. Everybody needs to check that out.
That was, so, yeah. I think today, I think, again, that was a similar kind of loss. There were no plans in place. I think they just served CSK the victory. Ki Kohli told Dhoni ki haan le lo, ek win to le lo aap, because their batting was very slow. Their bowlers were fighting the conditions in the plans quite off. I think they took this game lightly. But the only good thing is we are placed well in the league. So that is the only solace. But it was, I think we lost one game to Punjab, the recent one at Sharjah. But this game actually was very bad because our plans were not there. Last game plans backfired. In this game, the plans were not there according to me. So that is why I felt it was
a little off. But the E-Sal Cup Namda dream is still on, right?
Hopefully.
Yes. Amazing to see you guys repping your home colors over here as well. I don't really have my team's jersey, so I'm just wearing their color. Delhi Capitals, shout out to you guys.
Delhi. Good. They're playing well.
Bombay is playing well. Yeah, they're playing well. For the first time, I've been depressed every single season of the IPL because Delhi screws up every single one of them. But this year is the only one. Yeah, exactly. I think it's the most well-balanced team in the IPL, right? And
I'll give that to Mumbai.
Probably. Yeah. All right. I'll make a confession. I don't really know much about cricket. I only support Delhi because regionalist. And for all Delhi kids who are watching this, for the sake of this podcast, we are assuming that NCR is a part of Delhi. Okay, let's not go there, please. Let's not restart that whole conversation again. Anyway, guys. So as I mentioned, the quarantine. It must be pretty depressing for you guys as well, right? The quarantine mein ghar pe rehna, missing out on college, right?
Yeah, Srishti.
Oh yeah, especially for me, I live in like Bihar. So like there's nothing to do, there's nowhere to go out. So it's
Bihari represent.
I'll agree with Srishti. I mean, it's been, I think, first 3-4 months we were like, okay, nice, chill from college, you come back home, it's good stuff. I think last couple of months, I think this August, September, October period, where the classes have started, you would rather be in college with friends. So
I would rather be dead, man. Fucking classes.
So I think that has been quite right. So I think last 2 months have been quite. I'm in IT.
Ooh, and Srishti?
Computer science.
अरे बड़े प्लेसमेंट वाले लोग हो तुम दोनों.
प्लेसमेंट वाले लोग तब होगा ना जब पढ़ाई करेंगे. 2 महीने से no पढ़ाई. When they'll ask us questions about second year. अरे sir, but I heard you're a topper. I heard you're quite a topper. So studying matters. No, forget the stream. Studying matters.
Fair enough. But yeah, as you mentioned, Ishaan, the first 1 month was very merry. Like I was in Delhi, as mentioned before, right? My sister works over there, and I couldn't fly back home. So I was in Delhi. सब बहुत chill था. I'm like Delhi में आराम से NCR को Delhi मानते हैं हम लोग. Nobody at me over here. So I was in Delhi, and it was काफी chill था. मजा आ रहा था. It was fun. But the depression started in May.
In May already? So early?
No, May I was there.
The thing is that I was alone. My parents and all were over in the UAE. So cooking and everything, बहुत पागल हो गया था मैं. But फिर online classes शुरू हो गए तब तो भाई खत्म था सब कुछ. But now it's pretty chill now. So I'm pretty sure you guys are missing college right now, right?
Definitely. Big time.
So, let me ask you this one question which is standard in the Allmity podcast. what is the one funny incident or something which you guys want to share about your college life over here? Anything you want to remember? Any friends you want to give shout outs to? Anything?
Srishti, you want to go first?
No, I am so much to pick from. I don't know what to.
Oh my lord. See, this is when you know you're a famous kid who had a good life. Bro, you asked me to pick, मेरे पास 2 चीज max 3 चीज हैं. But yeah.
अरे नहीं.
Ishaan, please.
The thing is, okay. So if you talk about funny incidents, so honest confession, in the first sem, I was not a drinker. I'm still not. I had maybe a couple of incidents which I would not want to talk about, but I'm not a drinker. So no drunk stories. Of course, the funny side has been taking friends home or to the hostel. So those have been funny in some sense. But if you talk about individually, perhaps we had a MOS teacher. I hope he doesn't see this one, but we had a MOS teacher in second sem, I think. And he in general despised our class. Section T students will relate to this. He in general despised our class. To you guys. Yeah, Section T, shout out to you guys. In general, he despised our class. So he just called us worst class ever. My last year of retirement, I've had to teach this class. Absolute bullshit. He said this is the worst class. Like, I mean, what to say? And there was a constant line he used to say that I'll suspend your class. I will not teach your class and stuff like that. So it was pretty bad in that sense. Ironical that eventually the semester did get suspended. So his words did come true. We did not finish that sem.
Oh my god.
But the main funny thing what happened was, so we were doing some sum and he comes. So another shout out to my friends Yash and Rahul. So we were sitting, I think second last or third last bench, and he comes. And none of us had obviously written what he was doing properly. So he comes and he starts arguing with each one of us. So he sees Yash's book and he's like, what are you doing? Stuff like that. He sees Rahul's book. But the only difference was those guys are answering him back. The thing is, when you go to a student and you try to intimidate him, you usually find the student being quiet. And then he comes to me. And then he asks me, why have you done this question like this? Sir, I said, it's my rough notebook. So then he's like, but will you write like this in the exam? I will not give you marks for this. I'm like, sir, you don't have to check my rough notebook. This is for me. In the exam, I'll write for you. I said this statement. And I mean, I said it in a way, in a kind of a, not offensive way, but in a way like, it is my notebook.
Teachers don't expect this, right? Yeah,
exactly. They don't expect a back answer. So in that moment, he was stunned because 3 guys in a row had just given a very senior faculty a back answer. And he just stunned. He was like, now what should I do? मतलब मैं class छोड़ दूँ, मैं वापस पढ़ाने जाऊँ, इनको डांटूँ, क्या करूँ? And so that was perhaps one moment from second sem I clearly remember where the whole class was like, they wanted to laugh because he was actually taken aback, but it was quite some scene that day.
Bhai, next level, bro. MOS teachers, bhai, मेरा भी ऐसे experience है. Like, not like that, but my teachers were a bit weird, okay? वो किसी भी गाड़ी का शीशा, you know, the mirror in the car, the back mirror, वो उसमें देख के अपना बाल सेट करते रहता था आराम से थूक लगा के. I'm like, भाई ये क्या चल रहा है? But anyway, Srishti, what about you now?
Srishti will have quite a few stories.
Have you decided from your millions of stories, you famous person?
I'm not on Ari. I am in or anything right now. Like I am bland. The funniest, I think the most eventful thing that happened to me in all is like, I mean, now I laugh about it, but that time it was like very scary for me. So like what happened was when the NSM started, it started on the midweek, right, on the 3rd of January. Started midweek. So I was coming on the weekend. I was landing in Bangalore on the 5th. On Sunday. I was landing on a Sunday. So I landed at like 5 and me and my friends, all of my friends, like shout out to them also, like Uchi, Lala, Bhavya and Purvi. We decided to go to DT and have a Earth night. Okay. So now
obviously as soon as you land DT is like the first place you go.
Me and yeah, exactly. I didn't even change and we decided to go to DT. Okay? And then I changed answer. And then me and Purvi took an auto to DT, right? Now, as I go to DT, I buy a 500 ml bottle. Okay. I buy like a 500 ml bottle for all of us. I thought we will all share and we'll have another when everybody else
comes. For the sake of your discretion, that bottle is obviously water. It's 500 ml of water. Please continue.
Yeah, exactly. So now the rest of them come and they're like, hey, we don't want to drink tonight. And I'm like, what the fuck? I already bought it. And they're like, nah, we're not in the mood. And I'm like, what? And now I had to drink the entire 500 on my own. And this is like, this is after I've had a jet lag. I am tired. I've been traveling for 24 hours, and now then I did all of it. And I've never been that drunk in my life.
Oh my
God. Drunk on water, of course.
I have been that drunk in my life, but never before. Okay. So now I am falling all over DTO. I'm falling everywhere. I'm falling in the washroom. And it was like it's in for them to get me back to hostel. But as soon as we return back, we are in Student Plaza, right? And the campus patrol hasn't been, right? I mean, I was not even doing anything. They ordered me on absolutely nothing. I was just talking loudly, and I talk loudly like normally also, right? So they ordered me, and then it was a huge scene. They called up my parents, and my parents had to fly down within a week and all.
Oh Lord!
And I also reviews. So I on within 4 hours of being in Manipal, like on the first.
Dude,
that was
even the thought is scary. 500 ml.
Yeah, I swear. 500 ml.
I'm like, bhai
Dude,
sahab.
मैंने अपने life में 0 ml भी नहीं किया है भाई. I feel like I'm the wrong host for this. Thing is with alcohol, I'm not. What did I say? Alcohol. The thing with water in Manipal is
Water.
water.
Right.
Aquafina, OP. Anyway, the thing with water in Manipal is that everybody is so into it. Like I remember the same December holidays when I was coming back to Manipal, my driver, my taxi driver, I was in Dubai airport. Okay, my taxi driver texts me. He's like, bro, पापा को मत बताना, but मेरे लिए एक bottle scotch, please, duty free से. I'm like, oh, अभी करेंगे हम बैठकर.
Papa को मत बताना. He's careful, huh? He's not
very careful.
Nice guy.
Nice guy. I didn't know what to do because like, यार देखो हम शरीफ बंदे हैं. I haven't really bought alcohol for anyone before. So I just told him that, bro, actually I'm 17. I can't really do shit. Sorry. I was 19, but yeah. Crazy stuff. So moving on from the alcoholic water. Moving on from the water stories of Manipal and all those yadein. Let's move on to the main issue of this podcast, which is the IPL, right? I'm pretty sure you guys must have been pretty relieved when the IPL was announced for this year because, you know, when everything's going to shit, the whole world is dying, crashing, blah, blah, blah. That time the IPL comes in as that one sign of normalcy, right? So how well are you, how enjoyable is this year's IPL?
And when IPL was announced, I personally don't like IPL that much. I'm not a very big fan of IPL. Okay? I consider IPL only for entertainment, like mostly entertainment. I am not really emotionally invested into IPL, and I don't really judge players based on what they do in IPL. But this time when IPL was announced, I had like a different outlook to it. I had a different perception of this year's IPL. I was like, finally we'll have some in action, and this year's IPL has been, I think, better than all other IPL. We have had so many close matches, like so many.
I swear.
Like
it's like you guys remember वक्त बदल गया, जज्बात बदल गया, right? That happens every match in IPL. Dude, not gonna lie, Sunrisers versus Kings 11. Did you guys watch that? मैं देखा था, हमने कहा Sunrisers पक्का जीत गया.
Last night, man. Epic. Yeah, so that was this year. IPL has overall been very entertaining. And I think for an Indian, the option is there are a lot of Indian fast bowlers who are coming into the picture. India was not known for very good fast bowlers, but now we have a lot of young new prospects that we are looking at, like Navdeep Saini and Archit Tyagi and all. So like that way is very exciting. But yeah, I was very excited for this year's IPL.
Nice, man. And see, I also agree with Srishti. I only watch IPL for the entertainment. Varna bhai,
I mean, go ahead.
Okay, alright. I was just saying that the only reason I mentioned I support Delhi because regionalists. Otherwise, मेरा कोई inclination नहीं है, bro. I don't even know who Shreyas Iyer was before the IPL started. Yeah,
I'll agree with Srishti on the basis that you should not judge players purely on IPL because IPL is quite different from international cricket. But like Srishti said, this year the excitement was next level because you had literally never had so much time off from cricket. Something to used to be on some series, some faltu series also, but at least cricket is cricket. This year, I think the main difference has been the extended period of non-cricket. Plus, in general, I think IPL is next level. I think every night it gives you something to look forward to. Even if it's some nonsensical match, you can spend half an hour, 40 minutes watching some entertaining. You'll watch some sixes, you'll pick up some wickets. So I think in general, IPL is a very entertaining commodity. I think it is something we should be proud of, that it is something that's come out of India. And I think it gives you a good rush every night. Like you said, Punjab, SRH, completely finished match. Somehow it turns on its head and Punjab win. So that happens. You had Tevatias coming in. You had lot of players coming in. And the thing is, IPL is perhaps a stage you watch a player the first time, and within 2-3 years you could be playing in the national level. So that is something I really enjoy about the IPL. And in general, I think it's been too entertaining this year. Absolutely entertaining.
It's a platform, right? So like India can train or like scout for talent in its team, right? Because I think 6 players in the there's a requirement, right? Only 4 international players allowed in the playing 11.
4 overseas. Yeah.
So that's mad stuff. And let me ask you, have you guys ever seen a IPL match live?
I have.
Of course, yeah. So
like only one or many?
Okay, so I'll tell you 2018. I have seen way too many. 2018, the year, I think it was the 11th going into 12th. And I was just like, fuck studies, man. Just let it go. So I went and I saw the first, I stay in Mumbai. So I went and saw the opening match of 2018 between CSK and Mumbai, which was a brilliant match. The only match where Kedar Jadhav did anything for CSK. That was a brilliant match.
When Bravo just like smashed everyone. I saw that Mumbai Cricket Fever. The Netflix
brilliant match. So I saw that match. I saw Mumbai RCB that year, and I also saw the finals. So I saw 3 matches that season. Finals it ended up being a one-sided game, but what a game. So that season I saw like 3 matches. And I've seen before that. I think a couple of matches every year I've seen.
So when IPL happened in India back in 2014, when IPL happened in the UAE back in 2014 because of that election thing, right? I went and watched one match. That was CSK versus RR. The year after, both teams got disqualified because of corruption. So I don't know what kind of bad luck charm chal raha hai yahan par. Pata nahi. But yeah, like I'll be honest, watching an IPL match live and watching it on TV, the atmosphere is absolutely different. When you watch it live, भाई electric atmosphere चल रहा होता है पूरे theater में. क्या बोलते हैं उसे? Stadium में.
Stadium.
Crazy stuff. And even this thing, what do you call it? This thing called Pakistan Super League or something.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
That happens in UAE. That happened in UAE a couple of years back, I think. Yeah. So you went and saw that?
I didn't go, but I had tickets to go for that. I'm like, भाई मैं क्या देखूंगा? पेशेवर पलामी को मैं क्यों देखूंगा जाकर?
Peshawar Zalmi.
So yeah, whatever. Sorry. Dude, cricket fans are gonna act me so bad. Guys, I'm sorry. I watch F1, guys. Don't screw me over. I still respect cricket because Indian. But yeah. But guys, I'll be honest, okay? The relation between my relation with cricket and Pakistan is very, very, very weird. It's like my neighbors are Pakistanis, and you guys remember back in 2017 when India got screwed over Pakistan in the finals?
Oh,
Before that we beat them, right?
Yeah.
In that tournament, yeah.
When we beat them, I went to school full chord mein. I'm like, और मियाँ, boys played well. सारे सब लोग मेरे को देख रहे हैं. And you know what these like Indians, what they would do is they would take the sports का clipping लेते हैं and they would throw it in classes where there are a lot of Pakistanis. And like, और मियाँ, क्या? Boys
came back to bite you hard 3 weeks later.
Yeah, exactly. And when the finals happened, I didn't go to school that day. I was like, fuck, this shit is not worth it.
That would have been a scary thing to go. That was a proper beating, proper 180 run loss. Can't be worse than that to Pakistan.
And my exact neighbors, as I mentioned, they're also Pakis, right? So उसके साथ भी awkward हो गया था. भाई छुप के बजा रहे lift में. ऐसे. So it was crazy, but I mean, also I mentioned all this, it's all in great fun. Like Pakistanis के साथ काफी chill relationship है. And like stuff like Diwali वगैरह पे, they are the first ones to come to our house. So I mean that's one good thing which I feel about cricket. It's like काफी friendly banter होता है, but end of the day it brings people together because
absolutely agree. Cricket I think currently is the one binding thing between the two nations, because of course you have all the political tension and stuff like that. But like you said, cricket, and the best example is perhaps yours. You're staying in a country where both nationality people are staying together. I think there's cricket in both the countries is so massive. And usually we hear the lines कि मतलब अगर कुछ sad चल रहा है, India जीत जाएगी, Pakistan के against सब खुश हो जाएंगे, and vice versa. So I think that emotion is just too high in the countries.
Dude, exactly. And you know, the moment I understood the emotions which run in cricket is, it might sound stupid to you guys, but in that वक्त बदल गया, जज्बात बदल गया meme, the way that dude was crying, I'm like, damn, bhai.
No, man, that was
straight from the heart.
Semi-final, bro. That was the semi-final.
I was Indian, but मेरे को भी दुख लगा यार. I'm like, भाई ठीक है यार, बेचारों को जिता दो एक मैच. But like, crazy stuff, man. Like, I don't know. Cricket, I'll be honest, I don't play the game. I don't follow the game, but somehow being Indian, I still watch every India ka match whenever it's playing. I don't know how that works. It's just that binding factor which brings all Indians together.
Right,
crazy stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. So now we'll be going for the viewer generated questions. So, all right, guys. So now we're starting with the viewer generated questions. So these questions you guys have asked Ishaan and Srishti, and they will be answering these questions. And bear in mind, they have no idea what these questions are. I haven't shown them the list. We'll be starting now. And all right, so the first question is to both of you. Do modern bowlers lack the discipline and length that the likes of Glenn McGrath had?
Okay, so I'll take it. So I don't think so. To be very honest, I think in this generation, because there's so much of T20 cricket, people just subconsciously tend to favor batsmen. This generation has Kohli, Smith. The Fab Four, which we call it, is made of 4 players who are all batsmen. Of course, that bias is created because of how good they are, but we don't focus on how good the bowlers are. In this generation, you have likes of Kagiso Rabada. Okay, you have Jasprit Bumrah. You have someone like Jofra Archer who's just emerged on the scene. You have the West Indies bowlers who are very good in tests. So I don't think you have Trent Bolt, Tim Southee. Pakistan, you have these 2-3 youngsters who are really, really good. Mohammad Abbas is a Pakistani bowler who has modeled himself over McGrath. So he holds the line and length. So personally, what I feel, I think this generation has enough very good fast bowlers. But in general, because we've come to watch so much T20 cricket where the bowlers go for so many runs, I think that general bias has been created that this generation does not have as many good fast bowlers. That's what my opinion is. I think we have a lot of good fast bowlers.
Yeah, this is what happens when you have franchisee T20 cricket going on like every part of the world. Every country has franchisee T20 and this is only on the. But if you watch that cricket and if you watch these players like you mentioned Bolt, Archer and Rabada, when the new ball, I mean you'll say that opinion. I mean they bowl with very tight line and length, both of them. So like he said, it's mostly the T20 cricket making it a batsman aim. It's not really a batsman aim.
Fair.
I think there's a statistic. I'm not sure, but this current crop of fast bowlers has picked up or has the best average of strike rate in the last 50-60 years, something like that. So the current crop is actually very, very good. The best of them is very good.
See, I don't know a lot of technical cricket, but I'll be honest, it's fun to watch the bowlers nowadays. It's fun, कि batsman की फट रही है अगर रवाडा मार रहा है फेंक रहा है बॉल तो वो सब देखने में अच्छा लगता है. But anyway, moving on, Srishti, next question is to you. Please suggest a name for Kohli's baby.
It wasn't it, man.
Jale par namak.
Wait, man. I will like to not answer that question at all, but I'll be really happy to name it after me.
What if it's a boy?
What if it's a boy? Yeah.
I really don't care. I don't want to talk about it. It's a very sensitive issue for me. I'm sorry. I would like not to comment on this.
Fair enough. And
if it's a boy, should be Ishaan.
Yeah, it can be Ranveer or somebody that understands.
Oh yeah, the boy can be Ishaan, the girl can be Srishti.
Did you hear what Srishti said?
What did she say?
It should be on someone Anushka's dated.
Yeah, Ranveer or something.
That is solved, bro. Anyway, give me a minute. Anyway, guys, next question is to Ishaan again. Could you criticize RCB in 2 lines?
In 2 lines.
Or just give us 2 points, I would say. 2 lines थोड़ा ज़्यादा मुश्किल हो गया.
Okay, so I mean, the first point would be I think they've not played a team which has failed to play to its potential year after year. That is the first point, and that has many reasons to it. I think RCB in general. I'm going beyond 2 points, okay, but I mean I'm going beyond
It's
2
fine,
lines.
it's fine.
2 points. First line, I think they've not played to their potential. The players who've been there, and I think a lot to do with it is because they've not backed the players. I honestly feel I think the period from 2014 to 19, the coaching and the management was not up to the mark. They did not back the right players. I'll tell you, they had got someone like Quinton de Kock into the team. They had got players. They had got someone like Timal Mills, expensive, but they dropped him within 1 year. Shane Watson dropped after one bad season. Shane Watson went from being the captain in 2017 to being dropped the next year. I mean, he was captain for a couple of games. So I think they've not backed their players enough. And secondly, I feel it's an honest opinion. I think the team has been overwhelmed by the presence of Kohli and De Villiers. By that I mean is, I think that is, in Mumbai Indians you watch, there's Rohit Sharma, but the team is never overwhelmed by his presence. You have a lot of players who flourish along with him. I think RCB in general focus too much of their attention on these two star players, and because of that, maybe the rest of the players have been intimidated in some kind, or they haven't felt confident enough to be able to match to the expectations of those two guys. So I think those 2 points have been the main things according to me, that players not being backed, and secondly, players perhaps being intimidated, or Kohli and De Villiers just being too overwhelming a force in the team. That is why I think last 4-5 years, they've not been up to the mark. What do you feel, Srishti?
I would like to add, why did they release AL Rahul and retain Sarfaraz Khan? That was like the stupid,
biggest blunder.
And KL Rahul is the most consistent batsman in IPL, right?
He's flourished last 3 seasons. Wow, brilliant performance.
After leaving RCB, he has gone from 0 to 100 like real quick. And
I'll be honest, KL Rahul थोड़ा बेचारा type का लगता है. Whenever he's on field, he's like so clueless. Like,
I'll agree with you. Even when he comes to press conferences, उसके आता है थोड़ा बेचारगी वाली feel आती है. I don't know if that's intentional or unintentional. Because the thing, I'll tell you, very interesting thing in India, people like to actually see low-key, humble, those kind of guys than overtly aggressive and overtly talkative kind of guy.
I think Virat Kohli is like that proper aggressive guy, right?
And that is... because of that, he's not a lot of people are not his fans because of that image of his. They would rather have Kohli being a more calm and more sensible guy, but I don't think that is justified, and I don't know. I mean, that is what I feel. He's tried to become that in the last couple of years, but you stick to what your strengths are. A Virat Kohli is not a Kane Williamson. A Kane Williamson cannot become a Virat Kohli. Those two guys should stick to their personas.
Yeah, I respect Virat Kohli a lot. Like, I fucking respect that guy a lot. Only because of his aggression, his style. Basically when Virat Kohli is on the field, he has that sense of command to him, right? Like, वो ऐसे plays करते रहते हैं लोग को, and he looks so fucking intense. I'm like, भाई ये बंदा है, औकात है इसकी. But like, that at the same time, I don't know if this is a factor in cricket or not. KL Rahul बहुत बेचारा सा लगता है. बोल रहे हैं भाई please वहाँ पे जाके खड़े हो जाओ. तुम off stump पे चले जाओ please भाई मैं
maybe also because first year of captaincy, so he's just going into that.
But yeah, that is why I respect Virat Kohli a lot. His persona, his style is crazy stuff.
Right.
Anyway, guys, moving on. Next question is to Ishaan.
Okay.
What would be your idea of a perfect date? Would you pay for it?
Perfect date after nice cricketing questions. Why are we moving to this? Cricket is my forte, guys. Not all this. I am not into all this. Perfect date. I mean, a very generic answer. I don't know. Perfect date would perhaps be a girl who firstly understands cricket. That is
an RCB jersey.
RCB jersey. Prerequisite is perhaps someone. I don't know, man. Arinja, you answer this for me. You answer this. You take it.
Hello.
You take it. One question should be answered by the host as well. Come on, Arinja.
That is easy. My requirements, I'll tell you now. लड़की होनी चाहिए, जिंदा होनी चाहिए. हो गया.
Very honest.
The standards are pretty low, huh? Arinja, the standards are pretty low.
What else do you need? औकात के साथ चलते हैं बॉस.
Yeah, I'll no difference. Like Sarfaraz Khan had said during the World Cup pre-match conference, no difference. Same answer, no difference.
Srishti, please answer now. What would be your ideal date?
I am not a very date kind of a person. I don't believe in the whole idea of dating.
अरे hypothetically ऐसे ही मते में बोल दो. Not like I'm being serious, man. I mean, like थोड़ा सा और होगा यार requirement सांस लेने के आगे.
My idea of a perfect date obviously somebody who understands cricket, but on the contrary, all the boys that I've been with, like involved with romantic, I mean, none of them have ever watched cricket. None of them, like that was like my minimum criteria is for them to be a cricket fan, and none of them have watched cricket. So like,
oh Lord.
I think okay, if you actually want an answer, India, from a very philosophical point of view, मतलब ऐसा होने नहीं वाला, but basic requirement should be that you should be able to have a conversation, right? I mean, the person can be as pretty, as hot, as good looking as possible, but if you cannot strike a conversation, then it's pointless. I think have a good sense of humor and be able to strike a conversation on different topics. इतना ही हो जाए, मतलब बहुत दूर की बात है, but that is perhaps something you're looking for.
That is obviously a requirement, but like if you're looking for like a relationship according to that sense, I would say like conversation you can do with your friends as well, no? Like I strike a crazy conversation with my best friends, but like if I'm looking for someone, it might be a little high, but let's move on.
Bro, धोखा है सब धोखा है. सब धोखा है, प्यार मोहब्बत धोखा है, जाके देखो चौका है. मौका नहीं, चौका. That's it. Cricket is one true love. The rest all is bullshit. Cricket will never betray you, and you will never feel insecure about cricket. And cricket is someone you can always go back to. They will not have mood
cheat on you with football.
Cricket will never cheat on you. So cricket is the one go-to love. That's all. Nothing else.
Bro. So the next question is not exactly a question. It's more of like ask them to give shout out to Radhika, please. So Radhika, here's a shout out to you.
Love you, Radhika.
What do you want us to say, Radhika? What do you want us to say? Go eat your aloo parathas. Go.
Oh, shout out. Aloo paratha best होता है, bro.
अरे नहीं, बट वो बहुत ज्यादा खाती है. वो सिर्फ आलू पराठा खाती है.
Understandable, bro. मैं आलू पराठा पे survive किया था 2 महीना. Bro, I started experimenting with that.
I'm a Punjabi. I know the love for aloo paratha. I know the love for aloo paratha. But Radhika has a special love for that particular item.
Damn, that's crazy stuff. Anyway, I mean, like aloo paratha, shout out to you as well. Thank you, fam, for existing. And plus, I'm vegetarian, so aloo. Oh, bro. I'm vegetarian, na, so aloo paratha is more like squad food. Yeah, the squad food. Anyway, guys, the next that brings us to final 2 questions of the whole viewer-generated area. The next question is to Ishaan, actually. Thoughts on pace back in 11th, 12th?
भाई क्यों रुलाना है भाई, क्यों मतलब क्यों चाहते हो कि अभी रोना शुरू कर दूं मैं, मतलब I don't know. I think that has, I don't know if you guys will agree, but 11th 12th in general was pretty kind of traumatic for me, because 10th till 10th, I think engineering in general, I didn't know if I wanted to do it. Eventually took it. I thought we'll get through it, but till 10th, I was this really extroverted guy who used to participate in everything that came his way. 11th, 12th, I could consciously not do that. And pace, I don't know how many guys both of you know that pace in Mumbai, this Andheri is this like this.
Yeah.
Of course, you wouldn't know, but pace is like this massive coaching industry. And in Mumbai, it's especially very renowned. So pace, you had these 7 o'clock classes, wake up at 5:30, come back at 2, take a 1 hour nap, then study through the day. And those things which I enjoyed doing, I couldn't. So that was something pretty troubling for me, because I wanted to go out, I wanted to play, I wanted to participate, debates, MUNs. I was that kind of a guy. And 11, 12 completely took that from me. And even if 10 years down the line, I look back at 11, 12, when you asked me about pace, I was like, shit, man, I got like goosebumps. My heart started beating, because that is a phase in general which is very traumatic for me. But of course, you move out of that college, then of course you get back to those things. But 11, 12th, I would rather not remember. I mean, those are 2 years which if someone really wants a dukh bari kahani, dukh bari katha, They can always call me and I'll narrate it to them how bad it was.
Bars.
Yeah. Very sad bars, very bad. I mean, in general, it was quite depressing.
What was 11, 12 for you guys? I'll be honest, okay, I consider myself lucky to some extent कि यहाँ पे JEE का कोई culture नहीं है. So in 11th I actually had a company of my own. So 11th 12th में काफी मजा आया था, काफी explore किया, but in a way that's a disadvantage because when it comes to a knowledge level, I was way far behind the Indians, like the people who studied in India who went to JEE coaching. So first year was torture for me. Like all these ये लोग सब टॉपर लोग पता नहीं किस लेवल तक पढ़ चुके हैं JEE मेंस का, वो लोग सब एस करे जा रहे, सब कुछ मैं पढ़ा हुआ वहाँ पे लेस. Like I only done like very rudimentary 11th 12th का study था, तो वो थोड़ा सा टेंशन हो गया था. But yeah, and dude, I didn't know how crazy Indians were about JEE mains वगैरह ना. मेरे को till I watched Kota Factory, I didn't even know what JEE was.
I lived Kota Factory, man. I was in Kota. Oh
Lord, how was that like?
Oh shit, man. What am I saying then? My experiences are nothing compared to hers then.
When you were talking about what you went through, I could imagine my hell. It was horrible. Like in 12th, I was in a boarding school, right? And I didn't really prepare for IIT. So my father was like, take a drop, go to Kota, live that JEE life. Then I went to Kota and it was horrible. Like, it is the worst possible nightmare that you can have. Dude, they're 10-year-old kids there, you know, like from the age of 10, they are told that getting into IIT in the aim of your life. If you don't get into an IIT, you are a failure. I actually got so many, I was there and there were like around 5 suicides that year. There's actually a lot of students in this, so many depressed students, and it's horrible. It's like, you know, and actually people who go there to study, not a lot of people do well. Like the percentage of people who do well in Kota is very less. It is very depressing to be in Kota. I mean, I would not recommend it to anybody.
So guys, last question is, why does Arinjay have so many fans? So obviously I'll be answering that.
Yeah. Come on, take one.
Fame. How I'm just gonna Google right now how to handle fame. Oh God.
I don't know who wrote. Give us some lessons.
I don't know
how to get fans.
Yeah, I don't know who wrote this, but भाई कहाँ fans? कहाँ दिख गए? हमें भी दिखाओ एक बार भाई, हम भी खुश हो जाएं. ऐसे इतना दुख है life में.
I think he's already Srishti. I think he already Googled it. Biggest way to handle fame is being humble, na? That's what he's being. Humble हो जाता
है. How to handle fames with pictures. So that brings us to an end of the viewer generated questions. Obviously we have left out some questions because they were very ajeeb sa, but anyway, moving on. So guys, my second last question to you guys would be, you have to build a team. Like, I mean, like you can take 11 players, but you basically have to build a team, and in that you need to put in one batsman, one all-rounder and one bowler, all right? And you get to choose a captain also, and one captain also. So which 4 players would you choose for a team? This question is to both of you. Any country doesn't matter. Oh fuck yeah, that also matters. Since IPL is going on T20.
T20. Srishti, you want to go first?
I'll take Every Villiers. Every Villiers, I'll take if it is T20, I'll take Rajasthan. I mean, I don't like Rajasthan that much, but he's a very good T20 bowler. Rajasthan, Every Villiers.
Also guys, these people can be retired. This is just like fantasy stuff.
Oh, they can be retired as well. But like, none of the older players actually played a lot of T20 to done them on T20 basis. Like a lot of players I like didn't play that much T20. I think I'll take Every Villiers. Because he is the most complete T20 batsman you can ever have. Like in the entire world. In Every Villiers, I will not take Virat Kohli because I don't think he's as good a T20 batsman. Yeah, he's not
That's why you're baby with someone else, Srishti.
One betrayal for another betrayal.
I mean, no, but honestly, he's not the best when it comes to T20. I mean, I did Rajasthan because he's a very good T20 bowler. And when it comes to fast bowlers, I did Chopra Archer. And more players. And for captain, I can take Virat Kohli. For the captain, I can take Virat Kohli.
One all-rounder also, no? One all-rounder. It was one batsman, bowler, all-rounder and captain, you said, no?
Yeah.
One batsman, one bowler, one all-rounder and captain.
So
By the way, Ishaan, you can't pick the people Srishti picked.
I should not have let her go first then.
Then he'll be Virat Kohli then. Fine, I'll pick AB de Villiers as my batsman. I will pick Jasprit Bumrah as my bowler.
Alright, good choice.
As my bowler. I'll pick Pollard as my all-rounder. And I'll pick Virat Kohli as my captain.
Beautiful.
Interesting.
What about you, Ishaan?
Okay, so if I don't, my first choice would have been de Villiers, but for batsman, I think I'll pick Chris Gayle. I think the impact he's had on T20 immense.
Crazy.
So Chris Gayle. For all-rounder, I'll go with Andre Russell. Very, very West Indian heavy team. Andre
From
Russell,
KKR,
I think
right?
And
Crazy.
bowler, I think which Srishti was going for the first one, Jofra Archer. He's not played that much, but I think he's too good. And for captain, again, I think captain I will go with Rohit Sharma, because I think he has a very T20 oriented tactics when it comes to playing the game, and he relies a lot on matchups, data analytics and stuff. And I think,
but then don't you think Rohit Sharma communicates a little less with his bowlers and everyone on the field in general? He lets the bowlers be by themselves.
That could perhaps be because they are so good. First of all, I mean, look at the bowlers he has at his disposal. Bumrah, Bolt, last season he had Malinga. So I don't think he needs to discuss much. But I think before the match planning and number of plans, I think he has a lot of plan A, plan B, plan C with him. He thinks a lot on his feet in T20. So I think that is really something good about him.
Fair enough. So my chance now, right? Wait. Is it my so it's my chance now, and let me pick a team. It won't be as good as your teams because obviously, but tell me how good I am, okay? Tell me how good I am in this fantasy shit. So
we'll rate your team. Arrange.
Rate my team. So the first player for batsman, I would go with KL Rahul because legend. For all-rounder, यार मैं उसे all-rounders को जानता नहीं हूँ. I'll just let that guy slide. For bowlers, I was going to take Bumrah, but since Srishti already took Bumrah, and after Bumrah, I think I would go with this guy, Rabada, because I like his name. Rabadi type का sound करता है. And for captain, I'll go with MSD because legend. And also, so that brings us to the last question. And in the Allmity podcast, we always end the last question with something very bhari. So I know you both love cricket, and it is the biggest sport in India, right? I don't think any sport touches cricket right now. Cricketers are God, and cricket is the ultimate game in India. But moving forward, I'm pretty sure you guys saw how India behaved in stuff like FIFA's qualifications and Olympics and all. So do you think the country should put its sole focus on cricket? I know you guys are obviously cricket fans, so you'll obviously think of it in that sense. But as a nation, do you think it is justified to glorify cricketers to that extent that they are actually considered gods?
So,
you can give a biased answer. It's fine. You don't need to be politically correct.
No, I'm never politically correct. I don't care about that. But apart from that dating question, but in this, I genuinely feel that at least in the last. Okay, so first, if I'm addressing the fact, should cricketers be treated as what they are? I think because cricket has been like we talked about it being more than a sport. It is an emotion in the country, and that's why you see not just cricketers. You have all these Bollywood stars. You have all these politicians. These guys hold the emotions of the people of the country. So that is why they are put at that pedestal, because what they do transcends more than which field they are in. Bollywood stars are not doing something, they're just acting on screen, right? Yet you will see them being treated as demigods, Similar way for cricket, because that has been one, like you said, one sole sport which has driven the country in the last 40 years. You see those guys being elevated to that kind of superiority or that kind of level. But I honestly feel, to be very honest, I'm a sports fan. Okay, I love cricket, but I enjoy watching tennis. I enjoy watching badminton. F1 is something I'm learning about. Basketball is something I can watch. I feel in India you have these sports coming up. You have had the Badminton Premier League. You had the Kabaddi League. You had ISL, which is gaining a lot of popularity, is what I'm hearing. So genuinely, I feel when other sports will have heroes, like what happened to cricket? Like what happened to cricket was we won the 1983 World Cup, and you had this Gavaskar, you had this Kapil Dev becoming heroes for the people. And before that, it was hockey. Cricket just came out of nowhere. I think similarly, if you have a couple of champions who emerge in the Olympics, who get home a gold medal and do that in a dramatic way. If PV Sindhu had won that gold in 2016 Olympics, I think that would have changed. That would have changed slightly better things for badminton, because gold is a gold. Silver is great, but gold is a gold. Similarly, I think if in football we're able to pull off some stunning performances, I don't follow Indian football that much, but I think we need heroes in other sports. And once we get those individuals, I think the other sports will start coming at par with cricket. Maybe not at par, but at least at a much higher level, is what I feel.
What about you, Srishti?
Personally, what I feel is, like you mentioned that creators are even the pedestal that they put on the pedestal and treated as art. Personally, when I was really young, nothing that I can say or will say right now will do justice to the impact that Virat Kohli has made in my life. If Virat Kohli was not a hero then, he was a simple I playing cricket, but I was a kid, even while watching him at that particular time, he impacted my life in a way beyond cricket, like way beyond cricket. So, like he said, we need heroes like that in all sports, in all different sports. We are trying. It's not like India is not trying. India has given a lot of importance to other sports, but practically, if you think when you are a kid and you start playing something like hockey or something like that, you aren't think of a career in hockey, right? When you're thinking about cricket, you are think of a profitable career in cricket, right? Because there are that many opportunities. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I kind of get what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I'm not being able to say that well, but a lot of people don't play a sport like football. Because there's no scope for football in India. There's no scope at all.
That's where Ishaan's point comes in, right? We need heroes over here to create the scope.
Yeah, we need. That's what I'm saying. I completely agree with him. We need heroes. Who put India on the map, on the world map, like Kapil Dev did back in 1983. That was a turning point in cricket for India. That was the most impactful performance India has ever had in cricket.
I mean, like both your answers were next level shit. Yeah, I haven't really thought of sports at this deep of a level. The only time I did was when I was making this question. So, crazy answers, dude. Absolutely crazy answers. Blew my mind away. And I agree with the both of you, man, on both those points. Personally, I also, like, if you sit down and think about it, it boils down to what both of you said. So, mad stuff. Anyway, so guys, due to the shortage of time, that brings us to an end of the Allmity Podcast. Hope all of you guys enjoyed watching it as much as we did shooting this episode. And before we leave, I was going to ask you one question, but I feel I would get a bit of a biased answer. Who do you think will win this year's IPL?
There are no two ways about it. This is RCB's year.
I mean, Srishti, are you also depressed that Bihar does not have a team?
I am not depressed, man. Bihar doesn't have a structure for cricket at all. There is nothing about cricket in Bihar. So
अरे तो मेरा दोस्त एक बार बोल रहा था ना कि तुम बिहारियों के पास टीम होगा तो what will you be called? बिहारी बबुआस. Then I heard shit like कि अगर बिहार की टीम हार गई तो बाहर ओमनी खड़ा रहेगा, आके दूसरी टीम को सब उठा लेंगे सारे प्लेयर्स को. और क्या?
That's a smart one, actually. Bihar wins by DQ. By DQ. Bihar team disqualified.
Lalu Yadav clutch. Anyway, guys, due to lack of time, we can't discuss Bihar team theories much. But yeah, we definitely need a part 2 of this whole trio coming back on the podcast. A lot of conversations left out. But yeah, so guys, could you ask them to please like, comment, share, and subscribe?
Of course.
I please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Allmity Podcast.
Guys, like, share, comment, and also press the bell icon for notifications. बहुत देखा YouTube में. Press the bell icon. And
never miss an episode.